tower of motor and metal decay. Don't you hang your head in your greeniest way.
Hello and herzlich willkommen zum Auf Die Fresse VXV Review podcast in English. I'm Ian Hamilton, joined as always by Mike Kilby. Mike, it's been a month, I guess. How's it going?
Yeah, we were swept away by the World Cup, like I think everything else was. So yeah, but it's good. It's good to be back.
In the end, FIFA lost, and the normal stuff kicks off. What I think pre-season's kicked off a lot of teams. I think it's 2-3 weeks before the league starts coming back. So it's like there's no break. But we're not talking about football. We have just for one WXW show this month. Broken rules from the Batch Cup in Frankfurt. It's about 2 weeks ago now. The usual midsummer one, but for whatever reason, always seems to land on whenever I'm doing anything for my birthday. It all seems to be that weekend. Either I go a week before, a week after. Nope, Batch Cup, it always seems to clash. So, yeah, it was, I suppose, a decent little show. Not the best drawing one, but it looked like, because I always do just after Carrot, end of the year and midsummer. And I think they said it was 391, so it's about in line with what they get for the summer shows. I mean, hey, they were pushing very hard on the social media. Yeah, we've got air conditioning, please come, which, bear in mind the heat that Germany was getting around that time. Smart thing to promote because, yeah, like a lot of Europe, it's been absolutely boiling these last few weeks.
Yeah, it's a bit of a. Batch Cap always does look like a bit of a sweaty room anyway.
I'm just glad it wasn't being a circle. I mean, we've been in that place in when it's been like 10 degrees outside and it's been warm, and also when the radiator's been knackered and full blast in the middle, end of the year, which ain't pleasant. But so this one was the penultimate show before Pro Wrestling Grand Prix. WXW was the US for Germany a couple of years back where we did the staggered summer break, and that seems to have been the norm now, I guess. We'll have a break after Driver Champions, do a show, then another break before summer, and then another break. So it tends to be like staccato now this time of year, where you just get Carrot, a couple of shows afterwards, and then really slows into summer, and then speeds up again at the end of the year. But we'll go through, start the shotgun match, and then the main card. Again, we've had this pet hate for a while now. They don't tell you what the shotgun match is going to be until it's been taped, which, if you're sitting waiting for a match and you've got to find you're waiting a few more days, it is what it is. But pre-show, shotgun match, Zoltan against Katsuya Murashima, of course, not for the European title because Japan ain't part of Europe. It was a pretty solid one, because shotgun rules, it's 10 minutes, so nice and tidy. One thing I will say with Murashima, though, and I've noticed this compared to how he was when he came over Carrot Weekend, in the name of progress, not for promotion, there's a few bits of his young line stuff that's starting to fall by the wayside. Like, I think it was that first match he came in against Dreiske, he was doing was the jumping Boston Crab. That's not been seen for a while, and I know, he's got to evolve, he's got to try new stuff out. But this does feel like it's a run where they've booked the trend. Like, okay, we haven't got too much from WXW to go by, but like when Rev Pro had European, Japanese guys in, there's always been the temptation to have him like Great O'Khan towards the top of the card. He was undefeated as Gideon Grey liked to burst a few blood vessels, telling us, Shota Umino was pretty high up in the cards. Oscar and Yuto, tag team champions, were all over the cards for a while. Murashima's been very low key. He's been a lot of shotguns. He's been very low card. And I'm not saying that's he's no good because they book him how they want. I mean, I don't know if they know how long he's going to be there, but I do think it's a bit weird how the first, I guess, young lion without any ties to Germany, he's not really been given that much of a prominent role. Not that I'm saying, hey, he's the guy from New Japan, he's better than all our roster, but I'd have expected, a couple of big wins by now, not just, insert opponent here kind of stuff.
I can understand where you're going with that, but I feel like it's not really needed. As I say, he's coming in here to learn, and there's possibly, they begin to shed their skin a little bit over time anyway, don't they? I think, as particularly in this sort of match, they're both wrestlers at sort of similar stages in their careers. Zoltan's obviously right at the beginning, but he's obviously got such a large sort of groundswell of support behind him. But yeah, I don't disagree with you when you say that about Hiroshima. I think, but it's just he's also, I feel like he's the sort of person he could get a nice big run in the shortcut, and I think it might be sort of maybe the turning point, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at this cage match, he's been doing the rounds a bit. Like, I mean, we've been used to when we used to do Rev Pro, guys would just do, whatever shows Rev Pro ran, and that was it. He's been doing the rounds, obviously, pretty much all the WXW shows, but he's been doing stuff like Pro Wrestling Holland. One just leapt out at me last month, day before Driver Champions. A shot for your NWA World Tag titles at Pro Wrestling Holland's like, that's the ultimate. Oh yeah, there's no shot you winning. Like, there's no way, Billy Corgan's booking you in the middle of his run. But, place like that, Body Slam over in Denmark. You did, was it Ichiban over in South London a couple of months back. So he's not just sticking with one company. He is, doing the rounds across Europe, which is always a good thing to see. Zoltan, yeah, like I say, the European title, it's one of those where it's kind of been like a settling run. Like, the amount of guys that, we joked, that European belt was cursed. Like, pretty much everyone holding it ended up, away for whatever reason. Like, obviously had, Elijah Blum got signed, Mike DeVecchio got signed, Marius, whatever happened there. So Ricky Sosa, like, he was okay. He's only had it just crossed 100 days now. So, and already that's one of the hard, but I think by the time we get to Shock over to the top, it'll be one of the higher runs. But yeah, obviously this one not for the European title, but yeah, pretty decent pre-show stuff. And again, it's more reps for both guys. Speaking of a guy who we kind of threw in passing there, main show opened with Ricky Sosa up against Peach Tahani, and Tahani, he's had they played on this. He's had a few big matches, but a lot of defeats. He's had Yota Tsuji, Eddie Kingston, to name a few. Yeah, he has one on the house shows, but when it comes to like the the live streams, they don't call these like the feature events, for marquee events. It's been very much, yeah, I've got a big name opponent, but I'm also counting the spotlights. Which, so yeah, good for Tani's got the win. Got the win here. His first win since April. I said, Sosa. He's improved. Like, he had that run, was it April, May time, which was just absolutely dire to watch. Where it was like actively dragging folks down, I felt. But yeah, I think Sosa, we thought obviously gone, but he's kicking around. But wisely, I feel like they're using him, as a, how to put it, a feature opponent rather than a spotlight, if you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I get that. I think there's an element, and I said there is also like the instability possibly with TNA, which means they may possibly go a little bit all in. But I do feel that there's the unreliability of Sosa, at least it have been available all the time, has maybe made them sort of. But when they can get their hands on him, it's worth them using it, because obviously Sosa obviously in this very, very short time has already become European champion. He's on television in the USA, so like having someone like Tihani, I mean, but ultimately Tihani is a former world champion, so kind of a good match for him to have. And as I say, I think it was Sosa was better than he has been, really, but still maybe not really quite at the high gear he should be.
I do think with Tahani, and this is maybe a long shot for me, and we can get on to, well, we can't really do shortcut predictions. I've announced one name for the match, but I've got a feeling they're starting to warm him up, and I do wonder if he's three-peating, but we can get on to that when we do the shortcut card, put my teeth in. So after that, we had Dieter Schwartz against Lawrence Roman. This one, by way of a outside promo before the show, that let's just before the match, Lawrence Roman changed this to a submissions match because he's fed with Dieter Schwartz doing the best technische Wrestler aus Deutschlands. So we had an impromptu submissions match. And I thought this was pretty good. I think a lot of the first half of the show, it hit a level, but never really threatened to go too much above that.
Beyond that, yeah.
And again, you see what weather was like there that day. You can't really blame them, but did the submission thing, especially out of nowhere, did put a bit of a cap on this. Roman, he's completely gone back. There's no mention of a grind here at all. It was the old, the entrance music was Bedford as a video package theme. So it's almost like he was heel, but not overtly, if you see what I'm getting at. Like, whatever nastiness we had, it was almost like back to the just fresh out of the Amboss Pitbull stuff rather than the grumpy veteran kind of thing, which, it worked fine. But, again, here, I guess the story was he, kind of took Schwartz a little bit too light, all considered. Schwartz went for the arm, and of course that arm traps is the death move if he gets it on you. Biggest win of Schwartz's career so far, and that is going to be paying off for something at Shortcut at the top. But as for Lawrence Roman, who knows? Something we can touch upon later on. But I thought this was fine considering the limits they put on just for bell time.
Yeah, it was. I was watching this with a few people, and the question was, does Lawrence Roman actually do submissions? And I seem to think he did do crossing.
So we had a crossface thing. That was the big finisher coming early days of Amboss. But then was it half crabs, Boston crabs? And it's like, this is where it kind of backfires. Like, the idea was fine, but at the same point, if you're going to go all gung-ho with, hey, this is a submission match, I'm disgusted with you, call yourself the best technical wrestler in Germany, have submissions that people know, because you get this problem, WWF was it 2000, WWE, where, people always win with their move, so secondary stuff doesn't really connect with a crowd. Unless it's like, well, we're getting this new move over and what have you. But I did appreciate Roman, digging into his closet of that 16-karat gold basketball jersey. Well, I've won stuff from the past, but again, that does seem to be a bit of the, leaning too much on the past, whereas the present-day Roman form is very much spotty.
Yeah, he's like one of these people who's just trying to get back into, like Tihani, he's just going to have to be trying to get back into that rhythm of winning things, isn't he?
Next up, we had Jane Nero. She's still doing the women's champion gimmick with Alexander Bellamy doing his best Ken Kennedy impression. Up against Kate Brasher making her live stream debut. Again, this was fine. They got 6 minutes. We're still getting over the whole thing of Jane Nero. However she got that belt. I think, didn't we surmise just before she came up with it last year, was that one-off vignette with her chatting with Dreisker backstage, and then the next show she had the women's belt. So whatever they're doing the slow burn. My suspicion again is that that's going to be the title in Femme Fatales. But right now, we've got 5 names announced. She's not one of them, so they've got to be get the name on the sheet pretty quick if that is going to be the whole deal, because it's okay, maybe not in terms of numbers, but yes, certainly in terms of prestige, it's one of the biggest, the biggest women's tournament WXW has right now. So if you're going to bring that belt back, that's the place to do it. Not, well, I didn't enter this tournament because I'm the champion and just carry this out till when? Carrot? Back to the roots?
It was said that they aren't intending to put titles on the tournaments, because the tournaments should be reward enough.
Yeah. But you've also had this belt floating around for 3 or 4 months now at this point. So is it just going to be a prop where it's addressed as the elephant in the room and the belt never comes back? It just feels, I get what they're saying, but it also just feels a bit weird that you've also got this thing in play that's constantly being brought up. And in wrestling, when something's constantly brought up, there's usually a payoff. But yeah, as far as the match, I thought it was fine. Brasher, from what I've seen, she's pretty, I don't want to say raw. I think she's like a year or 2 in, if that. So, again, they kept it short. They kept it pretty straightforward. She did, was it Obertraubling a couple of months back? I felt she was better there against Diana Strong in match showing than this, but again, didn't have Jane Hill be the absolute spotlight of a match, whereas the other one was, I guess more 50-50 with, Diana Strong being in, I guess for the weekend. But yeah, it's fine for what it was, but I think, we can point where you've got to use the phrase shit or get off a pot when it comes to that women's title, because it is become, it's kind of thing where everyone knows what they're doing with it, but the fact that it's the same bit over and over again, it is going to wear a bit thin. And I guess speaking of wearing a bit thin, and yes, I'm going to skip over that Nordino promo. No ropes, no time limit, 2 refs match for the Shotgun Championship, Axel Tischer against Dennis Stolnig. This was, I hope to God, the end of it. I mean, the matches haven't been bad, it's just been a lot of the same pairing over and over again. And I guess no ropes meant no DQ, so Dennis Stolnig, I'm not going to repeat what I put in the script, because that's aged somewhat poorly since, at least if you follow British politics, it's aged pretty poorly, but he used that bell hammer a fair amount, more than you'd expect. But yeah, this was a lot of Dolnick, rerunning the way he's cheated to get to wins, and not get them again. But I did like the way they made a point of, well, we're going out, we're going to the floor, we're doing this. It wasn't a case of, they got the whole, I'm teaching on the edge of the ring, and I'm going to shove you down out the way very early on. The no ropes thing I felt was maybe, as the Buckaroo thing for me was just, a step on top of a step on top of a step. In fact, they never even teased using a second ref either. It was a bit, did they run out of time? Well, there's no time, but it was just curious, like they put that on, then to never even tease that. Just felt a bit, was that just thrown out there for the sake of it?
Well, Tisha agreed to everything just to shut him up.
Yeah.
So he didn't need it, I suppose is probably the thing I'd say.
But again, like I say, the feud's been fine. It's just been too much of the same thing. And like we say, this being, it was the end of this particular feud. Dolnick's going one way, Axman's going another way. As we've seen it, the shortcut to the top. I'm always going to keep getting that wrong. But as I see in the card, neither have a match. So, oh God, they're going to be successive entrants in shortcut, aren't they? Just one last dig at us. But yeah, again, it was fine. It went just over the shotgun title time limit. So yeah, you weren't going to have it go too short, but thankfully didn't go way over to hammer that point home. But yeah, pretty solid. Then we had the interval in the second half, opened with the Weapons Tornado tag match. So I guess, if you figured out where this was going to be on the lineup, you kind of knew what was following next, since there was only one other announced match after that. We had 10 out of 10 Next Level, Alex Duke, Alexander Bellamy, returning Swole Patrol, M4 and Tim Kozlowski, Roadkill, Aaron Kelly, and Quick and Dirty, Hugo Brandt, Nicholas Bock. And this was almost like, height of WWF Hardcore title, just, obviously around ringside, didn't go backstage much, but, just all the plunder, like they, dug out ladders and leapt off them for the hell of it on the floor. This was absolutely batshit. They had, Botchamania taunt moment at the end. M4 almost put through table. I think he went through a table, didn't break, so look for that if Matthew gets down to that message. But yeah, it was fine for what it was. I think the issue of this, you had 4 teams who, on the depth chart for when you use an American footballism, we're all pretty much the same level.
Further down, yeah.
Yeah, but on a normal day, I mean, we had Quick and Dirty, a couple months back in Hamburg, almost do the, the hot and spicy, take 2 stuff. But on a normal day, they are, I don't want to say League 1 or League 2, but they are nowhere near where the tag champions are. And this match was designed to, yeah.
There's one tier 1 team in Planet Gojira and 4 or 5 tier 3 teams, but there's nobody sort of else at that. Yeah.
And so this was like kind of, step up level and you get your title shot straight away. But at the same point, it also felt a bit, Well, we know what the gimmick is because of how late in the card this match is. And they did this, they did this in Frankfurt before with, was it the Big Bucks? They had the title shot hanging over them. Harris baited them into taking the title shot straight away and lost. So it was the same kind of idea. I mean, yeah, the match was fine. You knew what it was going to be. It was going to be just a lot of wacky stuff. I mean, hell, Swole Patrol dug out the Mike DeVecchio protein powder stuff from Hamburg a few years back. Flinging that around, which I bet the folks in front row loved. Yeah, again, like I say, it's a plunder match. A lot of stuff going on. I mean, it didn't. In fact, didn't even crack 10 minutes. Tells you they just packed a lot in. And of course, it immediately followed up with that tag title match. And to their credit, they had me going again. Roadkill won the match. They straight in with the tag title match. And yeah, I don't think it was ever, they're going to win. But the number of times they had you thinking, oh God, we're going to do it. Are we going to do it? But yeah, I think it's one of those where we'll see whether this elevates Roadkill or frankly any of the teams to tier 2. But the fact that we've got the World Tag Team Tournament 2 months' time is recording this pretty much, and none of the teams from that tornado match are involved, I think kind of tells you that at least in the short term you ain't gonna be seeing anything like that, because straight afterwards we had Nordino. We mentioned he did a pre-match promo. Luca De Leone injured. He came out and attacked Plankaji with the CSI flag. Chased after Robin Christopher Forberg, threatened to give him a shoeing. You knew it was going to happen, numbers game against him. And he was sent packing. And yeah, we are going to CSI and Plankaji at shortcut.
Excellent. It's coming home. It was coming to Rome.
Well, they missed out on the World Cup, so we've got to get something to celebrate.
Yeah.
And then main event, Cowboy Way against Lee, Blum and Ahura. Of course, this is the warm-up for the Blum Ahura match at Shortcut for Top next month. For me, I was glad to see this wasn't the classic wrestling. We're fighting each other next month. I don't trust you. We can't coexist. This was absolutely, said this about the tag weapons match being wild. This one was all over the place in a good way. Like, the fact they had to bust out these live split screen stuff tells you just how much they had to cram in. Like, they gave the merge tables a good scene too. They're fighting all over the batch cap, so they've all got a good crack with the aircon again. But again, the story here in this very subtle, I noticed, this wasn't like overt with who going, no, Leah, you do all the work, I'm not going to tag in. But if you watched, when it came to the beatings, who was always down, selling on the apron on the floor while Bloom was, taking a kicking. It wasn't like, stuff this, I know you're getting all this, but
yeah,
it was more, very much Bloom took the lion's share of stuff, but who was also getting his, fair share as well. But Cowboy Way, at least in WXW, they haven't gone full heel yet, but you can definitely see they're on that path. And yeah, like I say, it's just one of those matches which it's going to go very much under the radar. I don't think it's going to win many match for year belts. It's probably like low ballot stuff, and I can see it sneaking in a few people, especially with the the wider storylines going on. But yeah, definitely a very good way to prep for Bloom and Ahura next month. Especially since it wasn't the the obvious squash and then haha, you lost, you got pinned, I'm better than you. They did have a pull apart for the end to end of the show, and it left so much on the table as well for future matches.
Yeah, I thought it was a brilliant match, and as I say, that it was one of the. I love it when you do get these where the fact they had to break out the dual screen was always good for me, and yeah, I think they do so much with the lariat in WXW. I think between Ahura and Manders, they do so much with the lariat. So it's like to see so many different variations of the finisher with that. It's really, really enjoyable, and I always do enjoy watching those matches for that reason.
I do particularly like Cowboy Ways, their death move, where it's Thomas Shire just holding the other fella in place. Was like, no, but you can duck it, but you've got, this is no escape to this. I do like, hopefully we don't, whether it's here Pro, whether just from the tag titles there, GCW produce, whether they go. I hope it doesn't some way overdo it. They save it as the big bad finisher, like when Walt used to do the big splash off the top. When back when he's carrying the extra timber and it meant something. But yeah, really good main event to send us out of Frankfurt back into the scorching heat, and 3 weeks this weekend, shortcut to the top. And yeah, to see where we go there for Ahura and Blum, because that is the biggest match we can do right now. And I'll be frank, I'm surprised we're doing the shortcut and not the big festival they've got 6 weeks later.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there could be a lot of there could be a very good chance of Ahura and Blum in Tag Fest.
That is complete out of left field, as in they're a team, the buddies kind of thing, or
yeah, no, a team in Tag Fest, just as a competitive people, a pair of competitive people who don't really want to team each other, but they're choosing to prove each other who's better.
That is a thing I never even thought, but that would go down gangbusters, especially with the teams we've got.
It would be even better if on the Saturday night they do a title match against each other.
Oh, yes. I mean, hey, remember last year's Genug to catch a final and how that tore the place down?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, obviously, we've got the Pro Wrestling Grand Prix lineups to rattle through in a bit, but first, a fair few news bits, some speculation as well, but something I completely left of the script last time out. WXW completely done with Triller as our, I think about last time I looked at their schedule page, as are a lot of people these days. So it's a few months back, there was a slow drip feed, I guess, of promotions, announcing they were done with Triller. I think was at Pro Wrestling Revolver. They've just moved on to YouTube. There's a load of promotions have just slipped off now. So WXW started on Triller, was it August 2 years ago, August 2024. They'd done the English streams there. Back in last year, they started doing stuff where it was just shows on demand. And I want to say May, someone asked them on Instagram what's going on for Triller. WXW's comments of this isn't off the record stuff. Apparently their contact with Triller no longer works there. They're owed money, so you don't pay, you don't get. I mean, as of right now, and I'm looking on my Triller schedule, GCW is about the only quote-unquote name promotion that's on there. And I think they'll be there till Triller goes down. But, in terms of wrestling after that, you've got the TNT out of Liverpool, IWR, I think they're out of Canada, Memphis Wrestling, but although their shows are on YouTube, so I don't know why that's on Triller TV+. Banger Zone, and then you're looking like Progress, but they're moving to a pay-per-view model there. So it's like, you can tell there's some who are leaving, some who are clinging on, but at the same point, it does feel like their schedule now is a lot more non-wrestling stuff. Like, I'm just looking now for next week, you've got horse racing, boxing, boxing MMA musical, okay, bare knuckle boxing. I think, I don't know if they still do for Hadfies of the Eredivisie out of Holland.
Yeah. They had the Dutch league and Portuguese league, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, hasn't a lot of the stuff just gone over to that my AEW thing?
Not all of them, but yeah, I think the only promotion that's gone onto my AEW in full is that new Produce one. Like the rest of literally, again, it's been a while since I've looked on my AEW. Like last time I looked on my AEW, was it 1FW's that's QT Marshall's promotion, like a feeder promotion. They used to be on Triller. That's now gone over to my AEW for free, as far as I understand. But as far as like stuff was on Triller and is on my AEW, I don't think there's much on there. It's literally, from what I can tell, it's promotions just putting like random matches up there. Like, see if out of Canada, they're doing like best ofs, for instance. WrestlePro, they used to be almost like high spots before they shut it for a bit. That my AEW seems to be just one-off matches rather than full shows, and whether this is like a soft launch or whether going to dial up when they get more stability, who knows? But certainly Triller, I think it's the point now where if you got was it like $50 for an annual subscription when they launched? If you got that on day one, maybe worth checking in, because certainly for me, the amount of stuff I watch on it has been absolutely through the floor. And was it Arn Furious I saw when he did his WrestleMania weekend stuff or after that, had issues cancelling. So I'm not saying anything dodgy is going on there, but if it's something got in on the ground floor and you're not using, get rid now, because yeah, it may be a case of very soon the wrestling output on there is literally just GCW, and yeah. So anyway, WXW is still on WXW now in English and German. If you've got IWTV, you get English there as well. I think until IWTV creators, that's going to be the norm. But I mean, we've always said from day one, just get WXW now. You get the most archive there, get the most, when we've done like shoulder content. Was it a few years back they did like the summer with WXW and Friends, where it had random promotions. I mean, if you want the back catalogue, the only place you get it is WXW now. So yeah, if it's it's up, if it's the thing you going in on, you got that, or if you want to explain more, IWTV. But yeah, that's where we're staying for now. Because next show is Shortcut of Top. That's going to be, of course, live on both. And we've got, I guess, our first name for Shortcut of a Top match, Daniel Garcia, making his German WXW debut. He appeared once with WXW 7 years ago, that weekend they did in Canada. The Ambition show. He lost to Walter in the semis. Yeah, and I think, was it Felix saying they've been trying to get him back for ages now. And of course, been a steady arrival of AEW names coming after Eddie Kingston last month. We've got Bandido as well as Shortcut for Top. He'll be the first Ring of Honor champion doing Shortcut for Top since Bandido. So first Ring of Honor champion who's worked with WXW since Gresham winning count in 2022. I remember that had all kind of weirdness with, that count didn't go on the network, and there was some suspicion it was because he had the Ring of Honor belt with him the whole time. So no such issue this time, because of course the network ain't a thing, because Bandido was defending that belt against Manders. So who knows, maybe no surprise title change, but certainly big old match for Manders there.
Yeah, so that's quite an exciting match, I think. It'd be hell of an interesting occasion if Manders did beat him though. For
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say so. I would hope if Manders did get signed, I would want it to be on AEW, not, with all due respect, that TV studio in Jacksonville. But again, Tony Khan's got a lot of names signed to him, so if you do get signed, you're not exactly immune. Maybe not the best word to use, but where I'm coming from there. Yeah. Yeah. WXW, speaking of places which don't exist, Bielefeld, they've sold out their show there in October. That was sold out a good 4 months ahead of time, which, yeah, those Bielefeld shows, those tickets are like gold, but it's because they're not running there, every month. Like those shows perform like, I probably should have gone back to check.
Sells well.
It feels like it's been, I need to check this, but it feels like it's about half a dozen shows now. Definitely since COVID, where they've just been either sold out or near sold out there. So, yeah, if you're looking for Bielefeld, you're probably going to have to wait for next year, the Road to 16 Carat weekend. The return to Frankfurt was announced after Broken Rules. They'll be there on October 24th for Fan 2026. They were there in 2024 for Fan, so only been in Frankfurt once before. That was headlined by Elijah Blum challenging Peach Tahani for the Unified World Wrestling title, which, quite conceivably, that could be a rematch if things work out a certain way, just with the belt and someone else. How about some reckless speculation? It's been a while since we've done that, and it's one.
Yeah, this is our Fabrizio Romano section.
Oh God, do I have to do the crappy Photoshop?
We're not that much of a grifter though, but
no. Well, do I kind of say fuck Fabrizio Romano? The amount of strife he caused, my part of football Twitter, for the whole Granite Tracker stuff. But anyway, this one you tipped for had. So this was a PPW.
yeah.
Yeah, Initiativa, I've really butchered that, but it's out of Poland. They did a show on June 13th, and just thrown away in commentary, But Lawrence Roman and Nick Schreier, who still tag in Poland as for Grind. I mean, I guess it's not a dirty secret, but if you look on Cage Match, a lot of WXW teams, still keep going outside of WXW like we had. Bielsa Hungary teamed while Amboss, I think maybe in PWO, still went on for like a year after they split up.
Amboss is still going in Austria, I believe.
Yeah, and maybe, what was it? Because Passion Pro doesn't exist anymore, but the Budapest Dojo and that, the Hungary sphere. But yeah, so anyway, in that Initiative Wrestling show, they mentioned that Lawrence and Nick Schreier were heading up for AEW, which I asked around. Nobody who I've not brought that up with had even heard of anything like that. I think you made a tweet about it, but didn't get much traction. So I don't know if that's a case of our reach being what it is, or whether it's just a case of it's commentary fluff and there's no legs to it. But Schreier's been gone from WXW since that Sean Mendig in May. He was pretty much written out after True Colours, saying he needed for summer off to sort his head out. Of course, Roman's been on all the shows since, but it just felt completely random. Like, this isn't passing comment on would Lawrence and Nick work in AEW, but just an utterly random connection to make.
It's a very strange thing to just come out of nowhere. It's not like if Ricky Sosa or Peter Tarney, they said, Ricky Sosa or Peter Tarney, they're destined for it or something. Fair enough, but
Tarney had a WWE tryout early this year, so I mean that would at least have. But we can see the breadcrumbs to there.
Yeah, but interesting.
Yeah, so one to keep an eye out on if we suddenly see the grind, on Collision, then
we're claiming.
Yeah, we'll take that, and I'll work on the dodgy, the grind is all elite Photoshop, just in case we need that. Couple of announcements for Pro Wrestling Grand Prix weekend. Madison Marley, she's been added to Femme Fatale. She actually made a debut at Femme Fatale in 2024 in a non-tournament match, beating Eva Klasky, Diana Strong, and Reika, which, there's I would say, where are they now? I mean, certainly Reika still does a lot for the festival weekends, but Marley's not been to WXW this year. She's been, most recent tune with Seedling. It's a Japanese promotion of all the ends over in Japan. Another name for Femme Fatale is Manami from Sendai Girls. She's 21 from Osaka. Debuted all the way back in 2017, which, that's why she's got 400 matches under her belt. Former Sendai Girls junior champion and three-time tag champion. I guess you want to do the dotted line from that. Hyperactive, part of the World Tag Team Tournament lineup, announced early this month they've signed for Sendai Girls. They're wrapping up their next week or two, and I've seen they've been advertised for Progress at the end of August, so you'd expect to be wrapping up for the next couple of weeks. They've signed with Sendai Girls. So I believe the format, from what I understand, because they've got an American Spike Nishimura, I think it is. Probably butchered the surname. But she did stuff for beyond Northeast Indies in America. It was a similar kind of thing where she'll do a couple of shows for your Beyonds, your Limitlesses, that kind of promotion. Then go back and do 3 months in Sendai and go back. So it'd likely be the same thing. Get a visa, run the visa up and come back for Europe. But that would probably mean Hyperactive. They're not going to be anywhere near as active, in the European scene, and you'd expect to be one of the tent poles of that Sendai Girls show the Cowboy weekend, just because their names were assigned to the promotion, and all due respect, Aja Kong announced is the legend, but certainly Hyperactive would be the ones that be more, I guess, current WXW fans would have a lot more connection with. World Tag Team Tournament, another entry, Planet Kojima. Well, we kind of expected that. But like last year, and as you said, the tag titles aren't going to be on the line. So we'll see who upsets them and gets the tag title shot later in the year, I guess. If they're still the tag team champions, big asterisk there. A couple of names announced for the Extreme Wrestling Party show. So this is the one at 11 p.m. on the Friday night, so pre-midnight start. Joey Janela, he's back into WXW for the first time since June 2019. that would be, was it the Superstars of Wrestling show against Bobby Guns? They did the whole thing over the America's Wunderbar show in New York that led into that. So they've said this will be his only appearance with WWE this weekend. Myron Reed's also going to be there doing his WWE debut. You can probably guess the connection there. We've also got another pair of announcements for the Extreme Wrestling Party. Sinner and Saint, that's the pairing of Travis Williams and Judas Icarus. They were released by TNA earlier this week. They were announced literally the day after, so Felix works really quickly, and I know there's a lot of people clamming them. They're doing like a month in Europe. I think I've seen one for Attack. We're doing Zichaban's, the Crusade, their Ambition-esque show. So they're getting around in Europe. So I think this is the tail end of their European stay. Of course, Williams, he's been with WWE once before, Cowboy Weekend 2024. Beat Liam Slater, lost to Nick Schreier on the Wheel of Wrestling tapings over Cowboy Weekend. Judas Icarus, I think it's the first time in Europe. So be interesting to see if they are limited to Extreme Wrestling Party or if they spill out on the other shows. So what that means for Pro Wrestling Grand Prix, we still only have one name per König to catcher, Katsuhiko Nakajima. So yeah, that segment where it's short, we're going to announce the rest of the names. Tommy's going to have a long old list there because that's 2 blocks of 4. And even if you say, like last year, the Shotgun and the European champion is in the opposite blocks, well, you still need 5 more names. So very interesting to see who fills that out. World Tag Team Tournament, we've got Hyperactive, of course, Planet Kojira, last year's winners of Greedy Souls, plus Betcha Together and Best Bros. And Femme Fatale, of course, we announced Madison Marley and Minami on the last few weeks, plus Mercedes Martinez, Chihiro Hashimoto, and Killer Kelly. So, yeah, it's that kind of catch is really sticking out like a sore thumb just with the one name on there.
I know. Realised.
I have seen people make a joke that Nakajima may not have been the easiest to work with in the past. Can't lose was nobody else in the tournament. But we'll see who comes up there. I mean, who was it in Noah he KO'd? So Tetsuya Endo was a member of that one famous match where he knocked him out. And yes, this is me making a very contrived plug to this ain't the Endo me. Anyway, ticket checks in a circle for Pro Wrestling Grand Prix weekend, plenty there. Pro Wrestling Grand Prix itself, front row's gone, everything else is available in a circle. Plenty of availability, that's for the Turok and Essen over Coward weekend. And for Coward itself next year, yeah, you're looking pretty much down to what general seating and standing at this point. So I think, and that's with just, I think technically Sendai Girls and Aja Kong the only thing announced that weekend. So I think pretty clear, which basket people are putting their eggs in for festivals right now. But we'll see. Could be a very late run up, depending who gets announced at Shortcut at the top. But yeah, next up, WXW Wheel of Wrestling Live at the Bard Fest in Merzdorf. I don't think that's being taped at all, so don't expect anything from that. Then August 15th at the Turbine Hall 1 in Oberhausen, they moved to the big building there. Shortcut at the top with this lineup, of course, Ahura against Leah Bloom for the Unified World Wrestling title. We've got the No Holds Barred match for the World Tag Team titles at CSI against Planet Kojira, which was on Shotgun last week. They wrapped up with, was it Forwerk and one of his shirts being turned into pizza, courtesy of Nordino.
His Hugo Boss shirt.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the pasta sauce came out.
Maybe.
We've got the European title, Dieter Schwartz against Zoltan, where I could see a title change there. I know Schwartz hasn't exactly been on a hot run, but they gave him a big win against Roman. I think this seems to be the kind of show if they do a title change, that is going to be the title they change. But these kind of things, it could be a bit of a coin toss, especially if we suspect that one of the secondary champions get into König to Catcher. As we said, the Ring of Honor World title on the line, Manda's challenging Bandido, and then the Shortcut for top match, 30 names, and the only one we, I guess, definitely knows Daniel Garcia, and 29 vacant. So we'll see whether they announce names in the run-up or whether it's going to be one of those on the night we find out, if Ahura wins and Bloom inserts himself in, wins, and maybe do your scenario. But yeah, it was one thing we did having been disappointed to come out of Shotgun. Very confused my hell out of me this weekend, but Shotgun last week, very little in terms of actual confirmations for that shortcut match. Like, I would expect even it's just like a few V-Bucks and where I'm going in shortcut and I'm definitely going to win, but or at least to the point where we could put the names on the poster. But yeah, shortcut's always good for a few surprises, and the rest of the card is looking pretty stacked as well.
Yeah, I get your point, but I like it being a surprise, to be honest. It's I'm not like too worried about that.
I mean, it's not going to turn people off, but it'd be nice seeing a few names. Even, I guess with Daniel Garcia may not have been closed in time, but yes, we've got Shortcut for Top August 15th, and then 6 weeks on Pro Wrestling Grand Prix, which that's coming around way quicker than we expected. So we'll see what gets announced at Shortcut for Top, and we will likely do our Pro Wrestling Grand Prix preview show pretty much on the back of that, and then we'll see what comes next. But Mike, anything you want to plug or bring up before we wrap up for the day?
I have nothing to plug.
That makes
you can follow you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, at Mike Kilby on everything.
Same here, at Ian Wrestling on everything, at Big Back Body Drop, but that Twitter account's literally just barking out really to some reviews at this point. Backbodydrop.com for those. If this is your first time listening to us, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Podcast Addict, I think it's Amazon Music, whichever podcast app you use are on there. Search for Auf Die Fresse on YouTube, you'll find us there. And that'll do us for another episode. Mike, thanks for joining us. We'll be back, I guess, towards the end of August, about a month's time for Shortcut for Top and whatever comes out from there. Stay safe, try and keep somewhat cool with the latest heat waves we're going to have, and we'll see you in a month's time. Cheers.
Cheers.